Alright, welcome back everyone. It's been quite a while since I've uploaded, so bear with me if this recording goes terribly. I'm going to try and do it all in pretty much one take and then just edit it down. But yeah, it's been a while since I've uploaded. Sorry about that. I was off enjoying my holidays, and I hope that you guys were as well during the absence. We are here today to talk about the team that I just drafted for my monotype draft league, the GLCC. And I ended up locking in the dragon type, which is very exciting. Dragon as a type is one of the more solid ones, I would say. Obviously, it has a few key weaknesses in things like fairy and ice as well. But of course, it also does have some handy resistances to grass, fire, water, and electric. Unfortunately, electric went undrafted this go around. We only had 14 coaches participating, and as a result, there were 4 types that did not get drafted. Those ended up being, let's see, what was it? It was electric and normal and rock and steel. Steel going undrafted is really interesting to me, but more on that later. We're here to talk about some dragons. There's a lot of really powerful options for me, and there's some really interesting low-tier tera captains as well, but of course, I would have to budget myself in order to only grab a few of those powerful options and make sure that my team is still balanced overall. So without any further ado, we'll get into pick number 1. Your boy grabbed the new toy. I got Gouging Fire, which is interesting because obviously on a mono dragon team, I won't have any automatic sun since Torkoal and Ninetales are mono fire. So as a result, I'm going to have to be using this guy maybe with booster energy if I want to sweep or something like that. And the sun really helps this guy out, of course. It makes his powerful fire type attacks even more powerful. It gives him that photosynthesis activation without the booster. But I think he's still going to do alright for me this season without sun. Obviously this guy is offensively very potent. He has some really solid stab options, and that's going to be a consistent theme throughout pretty much all of my picks, as dragons tend to have a lot of really powerful attacks. It also has Scale Shot to boost speed, and Iron Head as well to hit fairies, which is good because this guy is naturally a fire type in addition to a dragon type, so it's going to be neutral to fairy type attacks. Additionally, it gets Dragon Dance for some setup, and it can also be more bulky and defensive, using Morning Sun as a healing option, as well as Burning Bulwark to protect itself and hopefully catch some physical attacks and burn the attackers. For my second pick, I decided to get Latios. This is my second time now drafting Latios in recent history. I'm doing a National Dex League as well, where I ended up drafting it, and it's really powerful so far. It's got a lot of really good moves. This guy is the definition of dropping a Draco, and it also has Luster Purge, which is his signature move, now buffed up to, I believe, 95 base power from something way lower than that before, which is outstanding. And that move has a 50% chance to lower special defense, so it can turn a lot of 3-hit KOs into 2-hit KOs, and so this guy is really hard to check. In addition, this guy has great coverage, tons and tons of coverage on Latios, and things like Thunderbolt, Surf, for instance. So this guy's probably going to be very useful in a lot of different matchups where I can pick super effective moves. In addition, I can also do the whole Calm Mind Stored Power thing, which is going to be very nice in monotype, where not every team may have a good dark type option on them, and it even got momentum in the most recent DLC in Flip Turn, so that's really good. Also, Latios and Gouging Fire sort of synergized because Gouging Fire can help reduce some damage from like fairy types and things like that Latios would normally be weak to. And Latios also, with its Levitate ability, can switch in safely on ground type attacks that may be trying to harm Gouging Fire. So a really good pairing already. Thirdly, we got Tera Dragalge, and that sounds a little strange. Like, why would you round 3 Dragalge? Well, in this draft, it was actually really interesting because a lot of people were able to make side deals with their fellow coaches and secure things in later rounds. So, like, for instance, since I was Mono Dragon, I went up to the Mono Dark team and I was like, hey, do you mind, like, guaranteeing that I'm going to get Roaring Moon? And they said, yeah, I'm not going to take Roaring Moon. You can do that. And as a result, spoiler alert, I ended up drafting Roaring Moon later down the road, but since I knew it was guaranteed for me, since no other type can draft Roaring Moon other than Dark, who didn't want it, and Dragon myself, I ended up drafting other things first in order to prioritize getting as many of these dual types as I could. And so, Tera Dragalge, here we are. Poison Dragon type can definitely beat fairies. It has T-Spikes for support, Flip Turn for momentum, outstanding special bulk if you invest in it, and also the ability Adaptability, which is very, very strong. It'll make those sludge bombs and Dracos and stuff like that really, really hurt, even without too much investment. Additionally, Dragalge also has Haze to stop setup, and with Tera, hopefully it'll be a very potent special wall for my team. I decided to give this guy Tera Ground and Tera Steel. I was a little bit unsure about Tera Ground, like I thought about Fire for options and things like that, but I decided that I would rather have Ground because it's a very potent offensive type, and it makes my team a little bit less weak to Ground. Like if I went Fire, then this Dragalge, regardless of if I Terra'd into either of Fire or Steel, or if I just stayed as a Poison type, it would always be weak to Ground, and I wasn't a fan of that. So I decided to go with the Ground Tera type in order to be one, more offensively threatening, and two, shed my weakness to Ground, if that makes sense. And speaking of ground types, pick number 4 is Flygon, another levitator, which is going to benefit a lot since I have 2 Pokemon now who are weak to ground. Flygon is very, very interesting. It gives my team Stealth Rocks, which is another thing that I was looking for. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get spikes on the rest of this team because the first overall pick was Mono Ground and Garchomp. And so, just like that, Dragon's only spiker was unfortunately taken away, which, you know, is what it is. But I'm still very happy that I have Rocks here with Flygon. Flygon also has tons and tons of coverage. It has that Gen 3 kind of coverage, you know, with elemental punches and bug moves, because it frankly should be bug type and things like that. And so there's a lot of different ways that I can run this guy, and so I'm probably going to have a lot of fun with Flygon this season. I can set up with Dragon Dance. It has momentum in U-turn as well as priority in first impression. If I need to get rid of something that's like in my face with a bunch of boosts, then maybe a banded first impression Flygon might be a good bring or something like that. Next up, we have Cyclizar. Unfortunately, Shed Tail is banned, so we won't be able to do any of the Shed Tail regenerator type shenanigans and instantly get like something to set up a Dragon Dance and win the game. That would be a little bit too strong. But that being said, this guy is our hazard removal. It's unfortunately our only hazard removal. I was really looking at Tatsugiri, but I decided to not get Tatsugiri and get the next Pokemon after Cyclizar, which you'll see coming up. And so rather than having 2 rapid spinners, we only have 1 here. It's going to be our boy Cyclizar. Cyclizar, in addition, also has some decently strong stab attacks. Of course, it has Double Edge, which is something I'd like to try, like a banded Double Edge with Regenerator, because you don't usually see Cyclizar like going for damage, but I think it could definitely catch some teams off guard. In addition, this guy gets like the uber support moveset with like knockoff, U-turn, and it even gets Iron Head for fairies and Shift Gear for setup, and so this mon is going to be quite fun for me. I definitely don't think it should be slept on. Cyclizar, in addition, is also like stupid fast. This is the fastest mon on my team before a Dragon Dance, and so I'm hoping that maybe it can also be a bit of a revenge killer. Again, thinking about running it offensively in a couple of matchups here and there, but mostly as a support mon. It's going to be a fun guy to use for sure. Pick number 6, we have Appleton, aka Bubby. If you watched the, what league was that? GBA, that was in GBA. Appleton is really funny because he has thick fat, and I also made him a Tera Cap with Steel and Fire, and so this guy's going to be a premier bulky boy with that ability in the right matchups. Even though it is a bulky boy, it can still also do some damaging things. Of course, it has strong stab attacks. I believe this guy does get Draco. I'm not too sure, don't quote me on that, but one attack that I know it does get is his signature move in Apple Acid, which is very interesting. and it also gets immediate healing and recover. Additionally, it also gets some supportive moves like Reflect and Light Screen. It even gets Leech Seed, and it might get Taunt. Don't quote me on that either, but I'm definitely going to have a good time using Appleton this season as a defensive Tera captain alongside Dragalge. And that is our last Tera captain on the roster here. And here we are, pick number 7. I got Roaring Moon. I finally grabbed the boy. This guy is incredibly cool. I kind of did him dirty with the sprite that I chose, but you know, it's alright. This guy is a very potent physical attacker with photosynthesis as well, another booster energy sweeper type thing. It gets acrobatics to take advantage of that. Super strong stab attacks in things like Outrage, Knockoff. It gets Dragon Dance and Scale Shot in order to boost its speed or its attacking speed, and it even gets immediate healing now and Roost, I believe. So this is a very, very good Pokemon. It can also function with like Scarf U-turn sort of sets to get other threats in the right matchups. So definitely very, very excited to click Dragon Dance and then click buttons on this guy. That's pretty much this whole team, to be honest. A lot of Dragon Pokemon are, I'm gonna click DD once and I'm gonna start clicking buttons. This guy's like the definition of that though, so happy to have him on the team for sure. Alright, and then another Pokemon I absolutely did dirty with the sprite that I chose because you can't even see its face. We have Raging Bolt. Yeah, I might really have to find a better sprite for that, but I wanted to use mostly the Cerebi sprites for this video just to keep it somewhat consistent, and some of them are really low resolution and really goofy looking, so yeah, here we are. Sorry, Raging Bolt. That being said, this guy is going to be a special attacker, and it also fills in a really useful speed tier for us. We had a hole around the 70-60 type range, which is not like the worst hole to have in any Pokemon formats, but you know, it's nice to at least have something there. This guy is a super duper strong special attacker. It's going to be working in tandem with a lot of these other strong physical attackers on teams such as Roaring Moon, Gouging Fire, things like that. Can also provide speed control through priority in its signature move Thunderclap, which is basically electric move Sucker Punch, as well as paralyzing things and slowing them down with T-Wave. And I believe, I haven't actually used this thing ever, I believe it gets Volt Switch. So that's going to also be nice in order to grab some momentum, and it can even set up with Calm Mind. So definitely very good Pokemon here in Raging Bolt. Just look at that special attack stat, 137. This thing hits harder than Flutter Mane. And Flutter Mane's like mega banned from Draft League. It's all it has been. So definitely a very good Pokemon to have here on the team. And then we got one more for everyone at home. We grabbed one more of the new Pokemon. I grabbed almost all of the new dragon types just because, you know, I want to try them out, but unfortunately it's not Hydrapple. Instead we got Archaludon, which is going to be our premier physical defense wall here. It gives us also another option for Stealth Rocks, so it and Flygon, between the two of them, only one of them will have to run it, hopefully, in a lot of matchups. But yeah, with the ability Stamina and with Body Press, it can definitely do some big damage here. Stalwart, if I remember correctly, is like a doubles exclusive ability, so kind of useless there, but Sturdy and Stamina are both very useful in their own circumstances, so very happy to have Archaludon here on the team. It's another form of speed control as well, and it gets, I believe, Draco Meteor and Flash Cannon as well to deal with fairies, so definitely very happy to have him here as another fairy check as well, and as a rocker, and as a physical wall in general. So this guy's going to be putting in a lot of work for sure. And that is the Seattle Slashers team, ladies and gentlemen, for the GLCC Season 1. Looking forward to using it for sure. I think that with Mono Dragon, there are going to be hopefully a lot of matchups where, assuming I don't throw, which is, you know, not the safest assumption given my JDDL run, but assuming I don't throw, there's a lot of matchups I should just like win outright on paper, because not every team's gonna have a fairy, not every team's gonna have like a bulky steel that resists all my dragon moves, and so there are gonna be instances where I just click DD once or twice and then like kill everything, hopefully anyways. we'll see if that actually pans out, but I'm definitely hoping to use this to have a better season than in JJGL Season 2, because I didn't do too well. I didn't do too well, and it's time to get some wins on this channel again. So looking forward to that. I hope you guys are as well. That's gonna be it from me, and I will see you guys for power rankings. I believe that's gonna be the next video. Go Seattle Slashers, and have a good day.